What's going on? Hi, I am Jesse. I am a avid D&D player, and I am an avid DM. And I have been playing for a good few years now, since I was in college. So I love the game, love it all. So I love fantasy, and here I'm just going to be sharing some of my rules, my ground rules I use for DMing. And we'll go into that here. I have a website that I've built, nothing fancy, just a Google Sites kind of thing, that I'm going to go over with you guys. And I think get you guys' thoughts and see what you think of all these rules. So I'm going to shrink this down and go right into it. So these are my D&D rules. Let's get into it. So these just kind of a first premise, these ground rules are not meant to be super hard, strict enforced, but they're not some kind of judge gonna whack you up upside the head for not keeping these. It's just more of a general guideline to help point us in the right direction. Because if you don't have direction, you end up who knows where. So, with nothing better to do, let's go ahead and get into the first section. My ground rules, general guidelines. Have fun. This is a game. If you're not having fun, you need to fix it. Because this is a game, right? If you're not going to be having fun and sitting down and doing stuff with your friends, then why are you doing this? If you're getting frustrated, or if you're bored or whatever, talk to your DM. Talk to me. We'll figure something out. If this story's not working for you, if your character isn't as fun as you thought it would, just let me know and we'll figure something out. So yeah, have fun. That's the whole point of it. All right, next one is inclusivity. Inclusivity is everyone deserves a chance to shine. Every character has something cool and unique that they're bringing to the game. It could be something that backstory, a cool mechanic they're using. So it's important to share the spotlight. Share the spotlight by engaging quieter players, especially quiet players. I have some quiet players that have just kind of struggle sometimes to push their personality into with us larger personalities at the table. Ask about their characters, encourage collaboration, support each other's character choices to create a welcoming and fun environment. All right, feedback. I appreciate feedback. While it sometimes hurts, just kidding. It's good to know what's working and what's not, but don't do that mid-game. Do that between sessions, kind of thing. All right, player management, party size, and adding new players. New players must be approved both by me and the DM. Sorry, me and the party. While I prefer to keep the party size between 3 to 5 players, exceptions may be considered. If you'd like to invite someone, just ask me, and then we'll figure something out. We might not always be able to figure something out, though. 3 to 5 players is kind of what I stick to. I push that ever so often because I really want to invite someone, or we don't want to exclude someone from the game. So, but yeah, 3 to 5 players is, for me, golden. New players, if you're new to D&D, as guideline, I'd like to have the new players play the simple classes. Barbarian, Rogue, and Fighter are great for new players. And then if they haven't played a TTRPG before. If this is their very first intro, those 3 classes are golden. Rogue and Fighter both also have spellcasting capabilities if you chose the right subclass. So if they really want to do the casting, I prefer them to do like a half caster or quarter caster first to get their feet wet. It doesn't have to be a permanent character, because they can just, hey, I tried this out. Now that they know the mechanics, let's go do it more advanced. And then paladins, ranger, monks, sorcerer, bard, cleric, or warlock are great choices for intermediate players after they've gotten their feet wet and they've played for quite a bit now. Or not quite a bit, they've played for an adequate amount of time. And the more complex classes include Artificer, Wizard, and Druid, mostly because Prepared Caster and Druid Wild Shape, especially the old 2014 Druid, can be quite tricky to deal with if you don't know what you're doing. So yeah, that's my guidelines for new players. Character approval: all characters must be approved by me, before they join the campaign. Submit your character sheet prior to the first session to ensure it fits into the story, world, and game balance. And as for me, I like to tie people into the world. And if it's not fitting into the story, if we're playing a high fantasy and you're trying to play a sci-fi character, doesn't work. Make sure you're proving I get to see your character sheet and it fits into the world and all that. All right, homebrew policy. I love homebrew. I welcome creative ideas, but all homebrew content must be approved and sometimes altered by me before the session begins. This includes classes, subclasses, spells, races, feats, and any other character variants. For new players, however, I strongly recommend they avoid a homebrew for their character creation. It means no homebrew class, subclass, or race. There's like background. I'm not afraid of homebrewing a background because that's what makes the character interesting. And you can play a lot with the mechanics that exist first before diving into the world of homebrew. I try to encourage my new players to stick to the core first, figure out what the game's all about, and then start branching out to homebrew. But like I said, homebrew is like character quirks, bonds, flaws, ideals. Like those are not homebrew, but well, they are. They take a lot of personal development. It's good for people to know what is and isn't homebrew, and then play with what's been given, and then expand onto multi-classing with homebrew. I just don't really want people to homebrew and then also multi-class in that. If your concept isn't fully encapsulated with the homebrew option, talk to me. Let's tweak the class or create something custom that fits your vision, because a lot of these homebrew classes are not designed with multi-classing in mind. So for the sake of balance, no multi-classing with homebrew. All right, gameplay guidelines. Time management. Sessions begin on time, and I just want everybody to respect everyone else's time, because a lot of us are parents who don't have a lot of time. We have a few hours on a Thursday night to play, so let's make sure we're showing up on time and ready to play. Do your social time before and after. I don't care, but the hours that we are there for D&D. So if you want to talk to people, arrive early. And or stay late. I don't care, but that time is dedicated to D&D. Attendance and communication. If you'll be late or can't make it, please inform me as soon as possible. It's the worst when you're getting ready as a DM and you're like, okay, I'm planning this cool scene with this character, and then it's 15 minutes before, and the player who it's all revolved around cancels and can't come. And they knew for a while, and they didn't tell you until 15 minutes before. It's like, that's really frustrating to deal with as a DM, because now you have to pivot. And that kind of relates to my cancellation policy. Is I have a majority rule for cancellation. If most players can't attend, we'll cancel. If a character can't show up, and it's their story, we may have to cancel because it's a critical story point for that character, and that's just not fair for the rest of everyone else. So, but generally speaking, I have a majority rule for cancellation. If there's 5 players and 2 of them can't make it, we still play. But if 3 of them can't make it, we cancel unless it's one of those remaining players really wants to do a side quest or something, and it's an appropriate time for that. All right. Session etiquette. Limit unnecessary phone or unrelated side conversations during gameplay unless it's an emergency. Stay focused on the game and respect everyone's time. This is just a general policy. You don't want to have like a teenager just click on the phone, then I have to re-explain things, because a lot of the time people are also having fun spotlight moments. That kind of goes along with earlier thing about being inclusive, but respecting that spotlight, and because everyone has interesting things that they're going through, and try to respect that. Unless it's like the whole table's at chaos. There are times when the whole table's at chaos, and having a side conversation is not a big deal, right? But if there's something going on, please don't be talking with your buddy unless it's like you're intentionally being rude in the scenario, right? All right, dice etiquette. When making a roll, please let me know what you're rolling for before you roll. unless the roll is purely aesthetic and doesn't really affect gameplay. So like if you're trying to decide your hair color and you roll the die, it doesn't really matter, so you don't need to tell me. If you're unsure whether a roll is needed, proceed with your actions until the DM asks for a roll. So let's say you're going along, you're looking at the DM, you're like, all right, I'm doing this, but just keep on going until I ask for you to make a roll, and that's how you just proceed. It's just be free, and we'll see how it goes. Right? Helps with more realism as well. It prevents metagaming, like roll the die. Ah, I got a net. You keep on rolling, 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 and then the 20. Like, oh damn, I got a 20. Like, if you keep on rolling enough times, you get a 20. Like that's a thing. Eventually, it'll happen. It's a 1 out of 20 chance of that happening, unless your dice loaded for some reason. All right, next section is PvP, or player versus character. A player versus player. While character conflict can enhance the story, frequent and negative PvP interactions, such as stealing from, attacking, or manipulating other player characters, should be avoided. Let's focus on a teamwork and cooperative. I'm looking at the rogues and the bards and the enchantment wizards, who are charming their friends, stealing from their friends, manipulating their friends. There's people who end up attacking their party members. While that can happen on occasion, that's fine. But when it becomes a consistent thing of just, okay, here we go again, the rogue stealing my money again. Do I notice? Oh, you don't notice. Great. Oh, I wonder who took my gold. It's not a fun feeling to have that be going on. Metagaming. I have a kind of policy on metagaming, and it's kind of intuitive, I hope. The campaign metagaming. As a DM, it's my role to control the flow of information about the campaign. I strive to avoid phrases like, your character doesn't know that. Unless I explicitly state otherwise, it's assumed your character shares the same knowledge as you, the player. However, keep in mind that I deserve the right to change anything behind the screen. Monster stats, modules, settings, whatever. So it might not be exactly what you're expecting, and that's kind of the point, right? Next is player-to-player metagaming. Characters may have secrets or unique knowledge, but unless explicitly stated, it's assumed information is shared with the group. Avoid asking, did I tell you that? During play. It disrupts the flow and excludes people. Secrets can be fun, but should not distract from the team-oriented nature of the game. So I've noticed sometimes when people are doing have secrets and they're having, like, most of the party is having this conversation, and there's like one person who's being excluded. It's a feel bad, especially when it happens on a consistent basis, and the player's not, and there's no like real story reason why. So like, unless it's like like, this is a paladin player and all the other players are like, okay, we need to do this shady thing. How do we do the shady thing? Okay, I don't think the paladin's on for this. But this is the only way we can see doing this. So in that case, still find a way to include the paladin. This is an inclusive game. Let's not exclude people, right? Next is to respect the setting. While creativity is encouraged, try to stay true to the tone and setting of the campaign. Outlandish ideas can be fun, but should fit the established world to maintain immersion. So, for instance, if you are playing in an all-human world, you shouldn't be playing a plasmoid that doesn't exist in that game. Roleplay encouragement. Well, whether you prefer to speak in character, I am Gragnar the Red, or narrate your actions, Gragnar moves to attack the dragon, both approaches are valid. The important thing is to stay immersed and immerse yourself in your character story and decisions and the story at large, right? So some people, like theater kids, are very comfortable with taking on personas. They actually like that escapism, right? Other people like it more D&D for more of the tactical. So it depends on what kind of player you are. I don't care. But there is sometimes this expectation that new players think they have to become their character. They don't, and it's way okay to simply just say, Gragnar moves, Gragnar, whatever, my character does XYZ, not I do XYZ, right? Last section is the DM authority. Rule changes. As the DM, I may adjust rules mid-game in the sake of balance, story flow, or fun. This is more of a caveat, just so like sometimes like how a chase scene might work. Sometimes it's not working how a chase scene works, so I might just change the rules for fun, for story flow, whatever, just so it kind of moves forward better. The DM speak. This is a new one that I've want to try to implement because sometimes there's chaos at the table and I want to bring everything in. So when the DM gives a signal, such as donning their hood, all players must fall silent and give their full attention. During this time, no one may speak unless directly addressed by the DM, such as, Rogue, why did you steal that? And so it preserves the weight of major revelations, moments of danger, or shifts in tone. That way, the DM can zoom in on certain moments, and it's very important. The next two things is kind of bookkeeping. We've got a PG-13 rating. This campaign is intended to maintain a PG-13 rating, so avoid overly graphic descriptions, explicit content, or excessive profanity, or immoral situations. Please, I don't want a DM weirdness, please. All right, and the last thing is once you've read these rules, confirm by texting, messaging, or telling me in the phrase silent steal as it confirms that you've read, understood, and agree the rules presented here. This is mostly so that players verify that I know that players actually pay attention to this specific page, because I have a lot of other rules: character creation, combat, explorer, roleplay, equipment, inspiration, and a bunch of other rules. I don't care so much about those because those are the ones I mostly keep track of. This page specifically, maybe character creation, but this page specifically is very important for my players to know from the get-go, from the perspective I'm coming from. Those are my rules. Do you have any rules that you use that are not included here, or rules that you would tweak from this list? So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and like, subscribe, and share this with your D&D friends. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm planning on going through all those tabs that I showed you. These tabs here to do, and going through all my homebrew rules. Excuse me, my eye is twitching. Going through all my rules and doing videos on those for fun and share with you guys what I've been doing. So all right, and have a good day.